relationships take courage. Relationships is like having a mirror in your face. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Sunny Anatan back again with another video. So in today's video, I just want to give you guys some of my personal experience, some of my personal journey that I've gone through in my relationships. I just want to start off this video by saying that this is not relationship advice. I'm not a guru. I'm not telling you exactly what you should do. I'm not telling you what you should do in your relationships. I'm telling you what I've been through in my relationships, and hopefully this video might be able to help you with whatever you're going through. Alright, so I recently went through a breakup. Recently meaning it was in the last like 3 to 6 months. And this really had a huge impact on me. And I just want to tell you guys kind of the process that I had to go through to be able to get back right. You see, I don't believe that relationship issues are gender specific. Yes, there are certain things that men go through. There are certain things that women go through. I don't want to downplay anybody's experience by saying, oh, that's not true. But I do like to specify. I don't like to say all women, just like I don't like people saying all men or just women. Because when you're not specific with your words, it does imply that you're talking about the whole group of people. The reason why I'm making this video is 2 reasons. One, I recently just had a surprise anniversary party for my brother and my sister-in-law. The second reason is because I was just on the app Big O where I stream and I go live. And there was this woman and she was just talking about why niggas, I'm just gonna be blunt with it, why niggas are a certain way and why niggas are like this and you men are like this and like that. Even though she didn't say all men, when you say men, you're implying all men. If I just say women, I'm implying all women. Just like if I say black people are this or white people are that, I'm implying that the whole race and group of people are like that. Unless I am specific about racist white people or entitled white people or angry black people, you know, I'm not being genuine in my conversation. So I want to be completely transparent and honest when I'm making this video that I'm not talking about all women and I'm not talking about all men. Relationship issues aren't necessarily gender specific. There are bad people in every bunch. There are people who do things in every group that are not ideal. And I think it's good to have these different types of conversations and have this dialogue so that you can understand yourself better, but also we can try to understand other people better. Because I think this is one of the biggest things about relationships is the self-awareness and the self-reflection. Because at the end of the day, we're all looking through our life through our own perspective. We're all looking through our life through this vision, through this lens that we have of the world. And it's not to say that the world revolves around any specific one person, but to you, the only person who's going to care about you the most at the end of the day, if it's not your mom or your significant other, it's going to be you. It's going to be how you carry yourself, how you take care of yourself, how you interact with other people, how you treat yourself how you deal with yourself is going to express how you deal with other people. Again, I'm not a relationship guru. I'm just a regular guy. I've been through some things, and I just want to share some things that I think that can help you guys. Relationships are important because they run the world. Relationships between countries, between families, between your job and you. All these different relationships are how we relate to each other. It's a ship that we go on. It's a journey. So you must be able to be self-aware. You have to know who you are. You gotta know what your morals are, what you will stand for, what you like and what you don't like. You're gonna have a lot of different contradictions. You're gonna have a lot of people who don't agree with you. And that's okay. The key is to understand how to deal when confrontations come up. I've had relationships and I will say I really do. I love all the people, all the women that I've been with, all my exes. Even if we're not together right now and maybe things didn't work out, but I would never wish harm on them, and I would always wish that they do the best in their life and that they get everything that they deserve. You know, I hope they are successful with their finances. I hope that they're successful with their next relationship. You know, I want them to be happy. I want them to have a family and things like that nature. I don't understand why people would wish ill on anybody, but especially somebody that they literally were with and they claim to love deep in their heart. Now, if they were in an abusive relationship or, you know, they were physically hurting you or anything like that, even if they cheated on you. But no, not even if they cheated on you. That's a separate issue. But if they were abusive or they were manipulating you in a certain way, that's not right. And I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying to just allow anything or let things slide. But what I am saying, a lot of people don't go through that. A lot of people just have little issues. It'd be the little things. It's not even really the big stuff most of the times. It's the little things. Really understanding the person, listening to the person, understanding that we're not always gonna agree on everything. Me and my best friends, I know friends and being in an intimate relationship with somebody is not the same. However, how we deal with certain things or how we deal with other things, being able to compartmentalize and see things in different areas, like in the small details and as the big picture, it's all important. When you come home from work, do you tell her that she's beautiful? You know, do you have things ready? Like, do you ask her if she's eaten? You know, if she's telling you how her day is going, are you interjecting and are you talking about, oh, well, you can do this and that? I used to do that a lot, and I had to understand that not all the time are things needed to be fixed. I do think that as men, as some men and most men, we tend to want to just fix problems. You know, if somebody may tell us that they're having a bad, shitty day, and we wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, we can fix it like this, or we can do this or do that. And while the intention may be good, a lot of the times you just have to be there, be present, and just listen. And listen to understand, and not to talk back. And that's something that you have to just learn in relationships. You know, if you're at a job and your boss is trying to tell you to do something and you're just like, oh, whatever. It's fine to have your own opinion and to have your own idea about something. But sometimes, especially with the love of our life or the people that we love, we gotta just listen and try to understand. It's not always necessary to try to interject or change somebody's mind. But at the same time, you have to understand, is that person right for you? Is this person's morals and what they're going through and what they're dealing with, is it something that you want to deal with? And it's not wrong if it's just not for you. You can still love somebody but not want to be with them. You can still love somebody and have a different idea. I'm just making these videos because I just see a lot of people who are talking about, you know, men ain't shit, women are like this, da 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 da. But at the end of the day, it's just you. I do believe that we attract what we think about. So if we think about, he ain't shit, he's just gonna cheat, you may attract somebody who's like that. I'm not saying it's right that they're a cheater or that they do this or that, but if this is the outlook that you have about people, these are the type of people that you're going to focus on. These are the type of people that you're going to deal with eventually. And we're all going to have to deal with these petty tyrants. We're all going to have to deal with people who get on our nerves or who make us feel a certain way. But to say that it's all people or that there's no hope, it makes me sad. I made this video because my brother just got his 14th year anniversary in marriage. And that really inspired me, y'all. I'm seeing my friends getting married. I'm seeing my brother who has a successful marriage. And these are the men I look up to. These are the men that make me happy and make me see that, yeah, it's possible. It's possible to have a relationship where you guys talk things out. And whether you're in a relationship with somebody else or you're just by yourself and you're single, you still need to do this work. You need to go through your past traumas. You need to see what are the things, the key moments in your life that are making you be the way that you are. Because there's certain things that happen as when we were younger that can affect our present. I used to have a really bad mindset about my dad. Even though my dad, I will say, is nobody's perfect, but he's far from perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't there. He cheated on my mom. You know, he's selfish. He can be selfish sometimes. But I used to really be disrespectful to my father in my head and outwardly. I used to tell my friends that, man, my dad ain't shit. Or like, my dad's a hoe. Marriage is a unification of families. When I seen everybody come through for my brother and for my sister-in-law, honestly, it almost did make me want to cry. It made me like feel like, damn, all these people really came to support my brother. Like, yeah, there was food, there was, there was a party aspect to it. You get to show up and be dressed up and you get to show off yourself. But the other aspect of it is that it's two families coming together. We are becoming a unit. We are becoming one being. I don't know if y'all are religious or not, but that's something that I do admire about religion. When they talk about the sanctification of marriage and just coming together. Men have certain attributes, women have certain attributes, and when they come together, they create a whole life. They create a whole new person. Most recently, I've been in relationships, and like I said, every relationship that I've been in, I really loved the person I was with. I really cared about them in a deep level, to my core. I will admit that a lot of the times I was blind. I was just going in willy-nilly, I wasn't ready to be a husband at the time. Not financially, not mentally, not emotionally. There's certain things that I still had to go through and certain things that I still had to deal with internally and that she may have to deal with internally. When I think about my first girlfriend back in high school, we're still cool to this day. I still am cool with some of my exes. I don't talk to them every day, but it's we're cordial. She'll send me happy birthday or I'll tell her happy birthday or something like that. And it just makes me happy that I really had something real a few times in my life. And I believe it's still possible. It's not like it's the end of the day that I cannot experience that type of love again. And what I've been realizing through seeing my brother and seeing my friends who are married, every time I go to sleep, and I've been having dreams, I've been having a lot of dreams lately about my future wife and just me and her cuddling together, kissing and making good memories, just go doing fun things. And even when we have arguments, we're able to just talk about it. This is all my dream, by the way. And it makes me really happy. When I think about being married and having my wife, it makes me feel a good feeling. And I don't want to let the negative outside interpretation of relationships and marriages affect how I believe for myself, what I believe is possible for myself, because it is possible. And the fact marriage is a good thing. Marriage is a good thing. Being united and being able to create something is amazing. And being with a person that wants to be with you, that wants to work things out with you. Even if you guys don't agree on everything, y'all can still come together for this journey in life. Because life is hard at times, y'all. I'm not gonna say it's all sugars and rainbows and bunnies and potions and stuff, but it can be challenging many times in our lives. Whatever you call evil or you call the devil, there's a voice in our head that tells us stuff that we know. It's guiding us to the next path in our journey. But then there's also this voice in our head that tells us, oh no, she's like this, or she won't understand, or there's no point in bringing up this because she's not gonna understand your emotions. But why would you assume that? Go ahead and try it. Be brave. Relationships take courage. Relationships is like having a mirror in your face, and whatever you're feeling inside and whatever you're thinking, they will reflect it. So it's important to be able to see where you're at. It's really important to see where you're at, and you got to see where they're at. And that's why it is good to be friends. It is good to know yourself, and it's good to get to know the person that you're with. And it's good to ask these questions. Ask the hard questions. Ask the hard questions in the beginning. Not just what's your favorite color, when's your birthday, what's your middle name, what's your favorite movie. All that stuff is cool, but you got to ask the questions like, what do you want our kids to learn? What do you want your kids to learn? Do you want your kids in public school? What would you do if I go out to sea for 3 months and I come back? Those are good questions to ask, because some people get married and they go into the military, wife ends up cheating on them, or husband ends up cheating on them, whatever it may be. They really didn't know, they didn't have any good intentions all the way when they got into it. Maybe we just look at surface level, which is looks. Attraction is important. Attraction is what gets us, knocking on the door or coming to the door. But it's the personality, it's the values, it's the morals, it's the deeper stuff that gets us to stay. And it's okay to take it slow. Take it slow. I'm being abstinent. I'm not masturbating. I'm not having sex with nobody. I'm being vulnerable with y'all because I want you to know that I'm on my journey to right now to become a husband. I got to get my finances right so I'm able to take care of somebody else and a family. You know, personally, I don't want my wife to work. I don't want her to have to work. You know, if she wants to, she can, but I don't want her to have to, because I want to be at a place financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, that I'm able to give much attention to my queen, to my wife, to my loved one, and to my kids too. Like whenever I have kids, I don't have no kids yet, but whenever I do, I always said that I wanted at least 5 years with my wife, and after that, you know, we can have kids. And whenever I have kids, I don't want them to go to public school, because I want to be able to homeschool them. And if we're going to learn about Italy, I want to take them to Italy. If we're learning about the British Empire, I want to show them in the book what the British Empire is, and I want to also take them to Britain and England, and so they can actually experience it for themselves. But I know that for me to have the life that I desire, like, I don't want to just be married. I want to have a good marriage, you know? I want to have a good partnership where she understands where I'm coming from and what I do, and I understand where she's coming from and what she likes and what she needs, you know, and I'm able to provide, protect, and secure everything. You know, she's a nurturer and she's loving and this and this and that. You know how men and women are, or ideally, not even ideally, how femininity and masculinity is supposed to be. A lot of men nowadays, we don't know what it's like to be real men. You know, it's not as hard as it used to be back in the day. We ain't got to go out and hunt. We don't have to go out and, you know, think about working hard. A lot of dudes want to split things 50-50. And even myself, I didn't see a problem with that before. Like when I was growing up, I was like, I mean, what's wrong with that? You know, but I see that as a masculine person, as a man, we're supposed to want to be strong. We're supposed to want to just go get it and take care of the family. That's not to say you're supposed to just kill yourself and like just have no breaks to yourself or not enjoy life. Men are supposed to enjoy life too. I think that's something that society makes men feel like we're not supposed to. Like we're not supposed to just enjoy life and enjoy experiences. We're supposed to just suffer. That's not the case at all. We're supposed to enjoy life too. All I'm saying is that relationships are important. We're gonna need relationships in everything that we do. Whether, like I said, whether it's a job, whether it's your niece and nephew, whether it's your cousins, whether it's your mom. Like, that's why it makes me so sad when people be like, well, men ain't shit, or all women are like this. I'm like, bro, don't you have a mama? Don't you have an auntie? Don't you have a sister? Don't you have a grandma? Don't you have somebody that you care about that's a woman? Same thing. Don't you have a nephew? Don't you have a dad? Don't you have an uncle? This is why it's good to look at your past relationships and see what was it that went wrong or went right, and don't attribute it to everybody, because not everybody's a certain way. Some people be like, if it ain't, what do they say? If it don't apply, then it don't apply. I can understand that, but it's still good to be specific, especially if you're talking to a bunch of people publicly. You know, if you're talking in a group form, and if you're just general, I don't think it's good to be just so general. We gotta be specific, because for people to understand what we're actually talking about. But yeah, past relationships are so important. People get burned in their past relationships, and they take it out on everybody around them. They take it out on all the men that they see on social media or just on TV. Those are the men on TV. Those are the men on social media. Like, they're not just regular guys. Like, my brother is a good man. My brother is a good man. He's actually the one who took custody of his kids. He's the one who was, you know, the mom said, I can't do it right now. And can you do it? He said, of course. And so now he has them, and he was always taking care of them. And he was still paying child support. But the point is that it's not all people. There are good people. Even if it's rare, it's still out there. And I feel like you have to be a rare person. You know, in the Bible, there's a scripture that says, there's a narrow path for the righteous, but the unrighteous, it's a big, like, opening. It's a big gate. I think you should want to be a rare person. You should want to be a 1% person, or you don't want to be part of the masses. You don't want to be part of what everybody else is doing. Because most people aren't happy. Most people aren't in good relationships. Most people aren't financially straight. So you should want to be exceptional. You do want to be extraordinary. I want to be extraordinary. I don't know, like I said, this is not relationship advice. I'm not telling you what to do. But personally, I want to be extraordinary. I want to be a rare person. not somebody that everybody can have. As a guy, this is why I also feel like watching porn isn't good. You know, watching people have sex on camera. If you're an OnlyFans person or if you're a sex worker, good for you. You know, I'm glad that you found something that, and if you really enjoy it, I'm glad that you do. You know, I know it may be hard out here, we need to make money, but personally, I know that there are a lot of dark things in those industries, just like a drug dealer. You know, if you gotta hustle and do whatever you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. But there is a lot of darkness around that. Not just because it's illegal, but it being illegal does have a big factor on it. But the fact is, a lot of people are just chasing things. People want things like this. People want instant gratification. They don't want to work for what's real. That's why right now, I believe that it's good times for me personally to stay to myself, work on myself, work out, get this money, understand my mental health and spiritual, emotional health and all that good stuff. It's necessary. I hate it when people say, oh, when a woman gets this age, nobody's gonna want her. That's fucking stupid. Nah, man, there's beautiful women of all ages. Yo, you know what I'm trying to say. 18 and up. There are women who are younger, there are women who are older, who, you know, are good women. Same thing, there are men who are younger, there are men who are older, who are good men. I will speak for myself because I was going through the world blind. I started off just, you know, living life, just trying to understand things. I was raised in a religion, and then when I turned 18, I started doing research, and I was like, this is not for me. And I was like an atheist for a little bit. I didn't believe in anything. I didn't know what to believe. I had to go through this journey of trying to understand things. Now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm making my own philosophy. I understand the world to a degree, and I'm understanding myself more and more every day. And that's the important part. Relationships are necessary. We're always gonna, like I said, we're always have to talk to somebody. We're gonna have to like go to the store and interact with a cashier. We're gonna have to call somebody for insurance. That you're making relationships with business. You know why they call credit a trust? Because you have to trust somebody in order to give them credit. You have to trust somebody in order to give them credit. You know how like when you go to the plug and you ask them, can they front you something? That's credit. They're giving you credit. They're giving you trust, and they're believing that you'll pay them back. You're trusting somebody with your life. You're trusting somebody with your heart. That's why it's so important not to be just having sex with anybody, or not to just trust anybody, you know, because not everybody has your best interest in heart. Some people will take advantage of that. I still have the door. My heart is open, but it's guarded. You know what I'm saying? It has like it's not a big fence, but it's like, I'll let you in. You know what I'm saying? You can come up, and I just gotta see how you are. Somebody in my live just said proper communication is very important, and it is. I will say that most men in society are programmed to not express themselves, you know, or they blow up. You know, there's toxic masculinity and things like that. But men feel like if they share their emotions or opinions with women that they'll turn it around on them and make them feel bad about themselves. But it's not all women. There are women who will care about you and who will understand what you're going through. Now, I'm not saying just to be out here crying in front of her every day, you know, but you know, if you cry, your girl shouldn't be unattracted to you, like automatically. Now, it's about how you go about it. If you're really breaking down and you're really going through something, you know, it's good to be open, at least, you know, open to talk about it. Don't hold it all to yourself all the time. Yeah, men are supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be able to take care of things. But you know what I'm saying? If you have something on your mind, if it's something that she's doing that is making you feel unpleasant, you gotta be able to tell her about it. You ain't gotta yell at her. You ain't gotta cuss her out or do any of that other stuff. But you gotta be like, hey, you don't even have to say it right then and there. Like, personally, I'm not the type of person that says it right then and there, because sometimes it takes me to process what I'm actually thinking about and what I'm going through. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I will be like, hey, I didn't feel like it was the right time to talk about it earlier. You know, maybe it could have been, but I just want to let you know I didn't like what you said. You know, this is how it made me feel. And I think that's all it is. You know, you can just talk about it, you know. And there's like, I know I'm not perfect either. I know there's things that I go through and that I need to deal with as well. But yeah, men bottle shit up, and we don't talk about what needs to be talked about sometimes. It's not fair. It's not fair to you. it's not fair to them. It's not fair to you or to them because they're not having the opportunity to fix or change whatever it is maybe about themselves. Like maybe they want to be better. And maybe they wake up on time late, you know, and you're like, man, you be waking up late. But you just gotta let them know. Like, this is an interesting note by Marcus Aurelius. I've been reading this book. It's called Meditations. It's by Marcus Aurelius. He was an emperor. And I think it's good to learn from people who were real in history. It says, not to shrug off a friend's resentment, even unjustified resentment, but try to put things right. Show your teachers ungrudging respect and your children unfeigned love. To love my family, truth and justice. It was through him that I encountered Tharasa, Hildivus, Cato, Dion, Brutus, and conceived of a society of equal laws governed by equality of status and of speech, and of rulers who respect the liberty of their subjects above all else, and from him as well, to be steady and consistent in valuing philosophy, to help others and be eager to share, not to be a pessimist, and never doubt your friend's affection for you, and that when people incurred his disapproval, they always knew it, and that it was his friends never had to speculate about his attitude to anything. It was always clear. See, you want to have a clear attitude. You want to have a clear conscience. If she asks you what's on your mind, you want to be able to just be like, boom, this is how I feel. This is what I think. You don't want to be like, should I tell her? Because if I tell her, then she may use this against me and then I'll feel fucked up. You want to be able to just tell her. Tell her what you're feeling. Tell her how you're thinking. You feel resentment from your significant other. Even if you feel like it's unjustified. That's still my baby. That's still my girl. If you really love her and you feel like you're gonna be with her forever, that's still your girl. That's still your husband. Don't talk bad about them. Don't talk bad about them even to other people. I know sometimes we need to go and have advice and we need to talk with our friends, but you don't need to tell everybody everything. And I don't think it's good to talk bad about your significant other. I understand that sometimes we have abusive relationships and manipulative people. If that's the case, okay, maybe you can talk to some like one person that you really trust, or just talk to them. And if they're still not getting it, they're still treating you a certain way, you don't have to be with them. That's the time to break it off, or that's the time to like, you know what? You think this way, I think this way. I just see that we're not gonna be compatible. But this is also why it's good to get to know the person before you really get with them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's why it's really important to get to know the person before you start laying down with them. Because once you start having sex, once you start giving it up, once you start getting your emotions involved, men have emotions too. We get attached to. My oxytocin be going crazy because when I'm with that one person, when I'm with my girl, I don't see nobody else. Like, I'm on blinders. Like, there could be women this way, there could be women coming up to me. I don't care because I'm with my girl. And that's how you gotta be. Like, if this is your woman, especially if y'all married, if y'all are married, then you gotta be, if that's your husband, don't be talking shit about him behind his back. If that's your girlfriend, don't be talking shit about her behind her back. Tell her, talk to her about what your issue is with her. You know, be direct. Don't be all covert trying to make her get hints. Like, don't make him get hints, you know? But man, you do have to pay attention to how she's feeling. You do have to pay attention. And something I realized, not everybody's the same. Personally, whenever I'm feeling shitty or like if something just happened, I don't really feel like talking about it right then and there because I may not have all my words together. But you may be the type of person that can talk about it right then and there. You may want to just like, we just need to talk about it. You want to be angry. You just want to. It's okay, I guess, to have those times sometimes when we're having some confrontation, even with your significant other. But personally, I don't like name attacks. I don't like cursing at people, especially if it's coming from my girl. I don't want her to be like, fuck you, nigga, because you did this, nigga. Fuck you, bitch ass nigga. Like, bro. Oh, no. You're not talking to me like that. My mom don't talk to me like that. My brother don't talk to me like that. My fucking boss don't talk to me like that. So you're not going to talk to me like that. So I'm not going to talk to you like that. We're adults. We can have conversations without demeaning each other and making each other feel shitty. If that's your person and you actually see a future with them, I'm not talking about big issues like cheating. I'm not talking about alcoholism or fucking drug taking and, you know, different things like that. I'm talking about when it comes to itty bitty little situations. That's your girl still. That's your husband still. I've learned now, like, I'm not talking bad about people. You know what I'm saying? I want to say personally, I'm not gonna say nothing to somebody. I'm not gonna talk anything about somebody unless I can say it to their face.